Hi there, we're going to be jumping straight into this video. This is Set Willy on the Amstrad CPC 464. This was published in 1985 by Software Project and is programmed by Derek Rosen and Steve Wetherill. Original by Matthew Smith. You can see here the version I've got. It was part of the They Sold a Million compilation. So that came along with also, let's have a look, Sabre Wolf, Beachhead and Daley Thompson's Decathlon. And Set Willy here takes 3 minutes to load. Well, that's what I found when I put the cassette through. Now, most of the videos already on YouTube, they have the music, the game music, playing in the background. But this is the same 23 seconds of music, just repeated over and over again. And I know some people find that a bit, just a little bit too much for them, a little bit tedious. So I'm going to review this from a slightly different angle. It's going to be without the music, that's going to be turned off. And then once I've been through that, you can see at the top of the screen there it says colour option, press B for BW, I assume that's black and white. Yeah, you can have an alternative colour scheme on this game, so we'll take a look at that then, once we've been through this once, and we'll see how it compares. You can compare and contrast the different colours on screen, because I don't think that's been looked at in any great depth yet. So we'll take a peek. So I think that's pretty much all I've got to say, because there's already a lot of stuff about this game floating around. It's been talked about quite a lot. So this isn't going to be a speed run or anything like that. This is just me having a bit of fun and just sort of plugging the holes a bit, the things that haven't been looked at with this game, mainly sort of playing without music and different colours. So for the time being, just enjoy the gameplay. Okay, so that's the first game done. 79 items then to collect in total. And we've explored 59 rooms. More on the number of rooms later. But for the time being, you can see, yes, he's collected all the glasses and he's dived headfirst into the toilet. So that's that. The only way you can get back to the main menu is pressing the escape key, you know, because you're sort of frozen out control-wise here. You can't press a button to get back or anything like that, so we'll press escape. And we'll enter our name in the high score table. So that's the colour version, played without music. We're going to stick with playing without music, because, like I say, there's already plenty of stuff out there with the music on. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at the other colour scheme, the BW colour scheme, or the black and white. The one thing that is consistent about this is that all the backgrounds are just black, so you've got all the sprites and the objects and things all coloured in the foreground, but black is always the colour for the background. You can see we're just cycling between the options at the top a bit there. So we've selected BW, and there we go. Different colours now. That glass originally that was flashing red and blue, well now it's a sort of a blue and pink. Sort of pinky red. And yeah, we'll be seeing now all these rooms being very different. The platforms here are not yellow, they are blue, and that's the same for that enemy at the bottom of the screen that's going left and right. And there's Maria. Yes, get your glasses. And the cross up there, instead of red and yellow, it is flashing blue and green. So all sorts of changes. So let's go through the game again, if going through it once wasn't enough for you. And we'll just compare and contrast these two colour schemes. So that's the alternative colour scheme, and it looks a lot more sort of sombre, doesn't it, than the main colours. Sort of a bit less joyful, a bit more miserable, but you know, it's just a different way of doing things, I suppose. I know the use of the music in the game, the actual in-game music, the 23-second segment, can get very repetitive, but this piece of music's a big exception here. This is Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, or a rendition of it, I should say. Strictly speaking, I don't think there were too many Amstrads around in Beethoven's day. Yes, the use of this bit of music on Jet Set Willy is the stuff of legend and song. And that's become a bit of a mark as well. This game sort of has that impossible feeling sometimes, and it's quite interesting to see it. They've used the sort of Penrose triangle, or the impossible triangle there, as the sort of symbol of the game. It's quite apt. So I mentioned earlier on that there were 59 rooms we'd explored, but there is technically a 60th, although you will lose life in checking it out. Look at the rooms now, ticking on from 59 to 60. There it goes. Bit of a joke room, really. Jet Set Willy, Minor Willy, has the entrance to Hades in his basement, it seems. Let's just slow it down, have a closer look. Part of you always wonders what could happen if you were able to get down there, or but yeah, it's not intended to be taken seriously at all. And this is this room on a different colour scheme. So always black backgrounds with that colour scheme. And you didn't really see it in the video I did earlier on, the videos, the two games, but the West Kitchen does join up with the cold store here, so that just demonstrates that. And the fact that in some rooms you can, if you get to the top of the ropes, there we go. Although we did that before, didn't we, at the top of the when we got up to the watchtower, so you've seen that before. And that enemy in the swimming pool doesn't hurt you either. It's a red herring. Well, it's a red duck or something. And yeah, there's quite a lot of red herrings in this game, actually. This is one of them. This is quite a benign one. Just go up there and there's a bit of tree, so nowhere to go. So yeah, you don't have to do that, that's just been mucking about. But with this one you can just work your way back down easily and try a different direction. Yeah, it's funny sorts of things there, like being able to walk through the floor, and here again, if you get into that level you can get just below the path. But this is a slightly more devious red herring. Now, having seen everything up to this point, you're probably thinking, the people who programmed this game, they're very devious. Look at that, they've given us, we can either jump up an easy ladder on the right, or we can take these difficult platforms with these two enemies. So I'm not falling for the easy ladder. See, look, there's no way down that ladder either. I'll get up there and I'll lose all my lives or something. So I'm not being fooled by that at all. Let's go across here. Past the box and the wobbly jelly, or whatever it is. There we go. We haven't been fooled at all. Oh, damn. And you do sometimes feel like just doing this when that happens. That's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, I think this game was originally written by Matthew Smith, wasn't it, or something like that? But it's fantastic, because you think at this point, everything I've learned about this game tells me that there's a certain amount of deviousness going on. Very fiendish. So you think, I'm not being fooled by that ladder, let's take the hard route. But it turns out it's the most brilliant double bluff you could possibly imagine. The easy ladder was the way to go. And that's the only way out of that situation. You've got to sprint to the right to the end of that platform and take a big jump. So it's very easy to lose lives. Yeah, this is the way we should have gone. But even then, there's all sorts of little tiny things to worry about, such as collecting this. Be very careful, because if you keep walking into the roof there we go, you bang your head. You can lose lives very quickly. Another aspect of this game, which I'm sure all players are very familiar with, is the ability to lose lives very quickly. And here's an example of one way you can do it. There we go, we've lost a life and been respawned the wrong side of this enemy, so I have to try and sort of manufacture a way to lose a life over this side this time, so then when you're respawned you're the correct side. But one thing everyone, I'm sure, who's played this has fallen foul to at some point is being respawned at exactly the point that an enemy starts, and you have no choice but to lose every life. I am sure that has frustrated many people, especially when they're doing really well on a game, and then all of a sudden all lives go in a blink of an eye. Similarly here, you've got to be careful. You're supposed to jump on that bed. If you just walk and keep walking, lose a life. That pillow, walking into the pillow will make you lose a life. Faceplant the pillow. Yeah, we can just get beneath there as well. Let's see what happens here. Okay, we can just get below the bed. So, yeah, if we jump as well, lose lives by attacking the pillow from the south. So there we go, jump on the bed, and off you go. Now, this was the number of lives I had left when I first managed to complete this game, and I got to the bed, and I thought, what do I do? Do I jump on it? I'm very pleased I did jump on it as well. Obviously, I'd taken note of how devious a program this can be, how devious a game it is. I would have been annoyed to have lost right at the end, because that was an unemulated game I was playing as well. I was playing it on original hardware. Yeah, so this is the original music, which is fine, I suppose. It's pretty standard stuff, but it just gets so repetitive when it's quite a long game to play. And this is a funny little thing about this room as well, while we're looking for interesting angles about this game. You're not supposed to be able to jump over the top of this, and you're discouraged from doing so, because if you try jumping here, there we go, you lose a life in the sort of spike pit in the screen above. But what you can do is if you jump and keep jumping, you can get an extra jump in before you lose that life. So that's no use when you go left, obviously, but if you go right, can we snag that rope? We can. So it's a bit of a cheat way of getting up to this screen. And this isn't a 100% red herring here either. You'd think you just lose a life going off the edge of that conveyor belt, but if you jump up, you get to the off license. Just as we did in the games we played earlier on when we got to the Rescue Esmeralda screen, and then we jumped up to get to the off license. All roads lead to the off license, it seems, which sounds pretty good to me. So that's it, that's the end of the video. Like I said, already reviewed extensively on YouTube. I just wanted to bring these sort of new angles to it, mainly the colour schemes and the gameplay without the music. So it's a good score of 76 from me, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye for now.